Hello everyone, SpeedDemon here, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play where we're going to be doing the second challenge of the month. This one's going to be called the Seven Seas. There are two difficulties, Emperor and Prince. You're going to be doing on the Emperor difficulty, which is a little bit more difficult. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As the classical era dawns, our people have already charted maps of most of the world's seas, as Viking tales of glory and victory empower civilization to be able to recruit heroes of legend. But the water provides its bounty not just to you. The people of the island would have discovered ways beyond your imagination to reap benefits from the rivers, beaches, lakes, and depths. Will you allow another to rise to prominence in your place? So, with this, we can get started right away. So we can take a look here. We actually have, as the game says here, the era score from Circumnavigating the Globe. This is, of course, Bermuda Triangle right here. Cannot get these yields unless there's an island nearby, but it is interesting to also note there are quite a few potential religious city-states here. Let's go ahead and let's move up.
7 girls were chased by bears. The bears were just about to...
This is a good one. This one provides faith and production to adjacent tiles. So it's a good thing we're settling up here, that we're a little bit closer to this area here. You can see some very, very nice tiles that we could be working here. So I'm happy to get into that. I do want to be doing a coastal city, so that's why next turn I will settle up here instead of there. I would rather be in a position that I can get better benefits because, for example, in this spot right here, a very, very nice harbor can be placed down along with a chop and commercial hub here. And of course, city center here. And just look at that beautiful +5. So 5-5 right off the bat. That's a fantastic way to get our gold economy going, because our gold economy is how we are going to be able to afford buying some of these major upgrades and buying a navy to be able to take over the world. So we can see there are quite a few other islands throughout the game. We are going to want to go ahead and get some information about what's around us. So what we will do is, in order to get population a little bit sooner, once we settle the city, we'll make our way into a good spot here and kind of start working our way over here, do some chops, do a chop here, and eventually we can have these marshes here. It also tells me that there's a potential Edaminonki spawn. If there happens to be another city that has floodplains, we can settle that up. This will give us a bunch of extra production science, so that's a nice idea potentially. Now settle our first city. There we go. So, Universe, of course, we are going to have 4 population right off the bat. First things first we want to do is first focus on getting a harbor. We need to prioritize that more than anything else. We can go over here. Now, chops definitely would help us right about now. So first thing we want to do is try to get set up. Since we are not going to be worrying too much about population, I want to go ahead and try to get set up with a religion and also a monument. So you can see here, a monument, or a religion rather, for a decent holy site could be right here, but that also is going to take tempo away from this area, so I would rather set one up over here. This will be a little lower cost in terms of the tile potential from it, so we will do that. So let's get straight into that. Let's go ahead and chop that. There we go. Shave a good bit of time off of that as well while we're at it. That's really the main thing we want to be doing. Okay, we have 2 governor titles available, so general idea is right now we're going to want to try to think about trying to get better yield all around. We're going to go ahead and go into political philosophy. That's our first priority. We absolutely want to try to get ourselves set up as quickly as possible. We also want to go ahead and try to set up some good all-around yields if we can. So in order to expand, we are going to need population. In order to get population, we're going to eventually need housing. So, and we're also going to need new projects and new things available to us. We have some options available. So first things first, we want to go ahead and consider production in the capital. We could also go into God Kings a little bit better, just so we can get that faith right off the bat. We'll go conscription, just so that way we keep ourselves gold even. And that's not too bad for the time being. And then next up on the list is governor titles. So we're going to want to go ahead and put 1 into Amani, and then 1 into Bengala. Bengala will go here. That'll settle up into our capital. We can place a mine here. This will give us a little bit of production. Let's see here. We are 1, 2, 3, 4. I would actually rather go ahead and try to get a little bit of an improvement here, because this would give us more potential housing and also more growth. We have some excellent production over here, so we want to try to get into that. There we go. It's a very nice 4-1-1 tile. Now that we are in the waters, this builder here is going to come in very clutch here. You can see in this left area here, this is a potential area that we want to go ahead and explore because that city-state could be useful. There's another city-state right here. There is a civilization, it looks like, right there. And another religious city-state. So we are going to use that religious city-state. We're going to try to go as quickly as possible. Now, this is kind of telling me, with all these religious city-states nearby, it might be a little bit faster for us to potentially consider a religious victory. So we'll have to kind of think about that as a nice option. We're first to meet Rapa Nui, so that's free culture tempo. There we go. Excellent. So that's a really good thing for us. Construct a garden, probably not going to be happening. Interesting. We have met Indonesia. We got 20 iron. That's actually not bad. Religious settlements has been taken, not a problem. We have a couple options we can consider. I think for our position, extra production from fishing boats wouldn't hurt because we can eventually start settling quite a few coastal cities, and that'll allow us to get extra benefit from those, especially because we can see there are some tiles that have one production, so that would make these even better. That's a good option. Divine Spark is not bad, but it's not really going to be a big deal in this particular game. Lady of the Reeds and Marshes. Let's see here. That? Yeah, definitely that. For sure. Because that just instantly made these go way faster. Yeah, that's just 100%. We have, let's see, we don't even have to chop that for quite a while, that's the thing. We can first focus on our harbor, and we can eventually later in the game build a commercial hub once we've already gotten a lot of value from this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marsh tiles. That tells us we can be getting a massive amount of benefit from it. Also tells us we can eventually buy this tile soon enough here. This will be 80 gold. That's actually a decent tile. So that's not bad as well.
Politics is the art of the possible.
There's political philosophy. So we are going to first kind of consider, let's see here. These are going to be and naval melee class. So this will be actually very, very powerful for us. So we're going to take that one. We're going to take discipline. Could have had that on before, but I was a bit more concerned about our gold output. So now we're doing okay, so it's not an issue. Let's go into great profit points. We want to go ahead and make that go a little faster, and we'll put that on instead. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Dido values iron a lot. That's a little bit of a concern potentially, because I do want to be careful about donating iron essentially to somebody who is going to be a threat to us. So that is something I want to try to avoid potentially. Let's go on the north side of that. We have met England.
Like to the apple.
Okay, well that's the error score we need. You know what? I can have Amani wait. I can have Amani wait a little bit. Just have her kind of go to other places. I don't want to be wasting error score if I don't have to. Because that error score is actually going to help us along in the next era, kind of get through the minimum error score we need. Considering we are kind of going over already, so I'm trying not to go over more than we already are. First to meet Hattusa as well. That's an interesting thing for us. I want to get that lighthouse because I need to try to get Great Lighthouse sooner. If I can confirm getting that, that right there is going to be a big thing for us. That's going to provide us a massive amount of benefit. We also do want to try to be the first person to get this. The classical era medieval naval units definitely would be good. Let's let's see here. So policy slot. So Great Prophet is, of course, fully completed, so we don't need to worry about that one anymore. It wouldn't hurt to get a little bit of extra tempo here, so that would actually benefit us a nice little bit. Delegation, nice, free gold. Honestly, not really worried about that one. Feed the World, not really a big thing for me. This position, I don't really care too much, so I would rather get the second religion going, which it looks like we should be able to get that one. So we're going in a good spot. I might as well go ahead and just put this up and running now, because I didn't really want Feed the World, but with this position I can get choral music, and then what we could do is after we get choral music, we could actually go into Crusade and use this to actually make it much easier to capture and basically go after other cities. So it's going to be a good play for us. We do have increased trade route capacity. We have 2 trade routes available. We will start to work on that fairly soon, but I'm not really too concerned in the moment. Really is hard to avoid getting excess air score. Man, I've been trying to avoid it, but it's not the easiest, most feasible thing to do. Let's get rid of that. That way, next turn, I could work on destroying that. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. So with this quadrireme here, I am going to use this quadrireme to basically, and especially because of the fact this quadrireme now has that extra 25% extra XP available to it, is I'm going to work on leveling it up first.
An architect should live.
Get more air score that I didn't really want. I'm trying to do everything I can to avoid the air score situation, and here we are just getting a bucket of more air score. I'm like, alright. Did he really just go over and repillage that? Oh, okay, never mind now. I was gonna say. I was like, please don't. I need to go ahead and get that commercial hub up and running, though. I need the extra gold output right now. I'm gonna lose that tile, and eventually gain more benefit by setting up other tiles around here, so that's fine. Alright, since we got buttressing done, we can go ahead and kind of work into the next set of things. It would definitely not hurt us to try to get into shipyards. That would definitely be a good thing for us long term. Let's just settle up a city here, get set up there. I think we can go ahead and get our second city up and running now. We've kind of built up a good-sized military now, so that's been good for us. Our military is much stronger than the AI, so we can actually immediately start focusing on going back into war, and pretty soon here, get a second war going. That first war was essentially more of a feeder war, just to give us a little bit of tempo, take some away from the AI. What it also did is allowed us to eventually set up and afford the ability to get set up with quadriremes, which now we could use those quadriremes to actually gain a lot of tempo. So that is very, very good for us. Let's go I want to go ahead and check the left side of that island.
Under the...
Flips it over, and more gold, okay. Actually, that means we could potentially afford another upgrade, potentially. That's kind of massive. Let's get rid of that. Let's get that started. Lock in the production value for that. Finish off that settler. That is a pretty good thing for us, so this helps. And finally, we are in the medieval era.
People who cannot find time.
With yet more error score, of course. So, with a position like this, we're kind of in a bit of a predicament. Not too worried about other things. Let's see here. This would actually give us science. Free inquiry, definitely. Let's go into that.
Is it too?
That is unfortunately gold lost because I could have taken Sinbad there, but that's fine. I'm sure there's probably another wonder out there somewhere. Let's get ready and start bringing these units over. These are going to be some very, very good units, so I want to go ahead and start getting that out of there and into a good spot.
Never again.
Oh, that's another one. And Footprint of the Apostle because we are a Susan of Kandy. All right, you know what? That's fine with me. That's fine with me. This works. Kill unit with quadrine. We have already done that, so we are good to go there. Let's see here. We could definitely go and push into that. I would like to get those extra great admiral points because that will directly help us. Let's see here. Let's go into the Great Lighthouse. Oleta. That's actually a pretty good one to meet. And that city's not started working on walls, so that's great for us. That's going to give us a lot of free reign to be able to kind of go into this area and start really hitting things hard. So that's what we want. That looks like that holy site's up and running. And that campus is still pillaged, so that's good to know. Yeah, so once we get done with Guittari, we'll definitely go up to Portugal. We'll take those cities. And then after we get done with Portugal, we can work our way to this area here. Start capturing these cities. We'll go over here, capture these. Continue snowballing, capture all these, capture these later on, capture this, and then finish off here. So what we're going to do is we are going to make basically an upside down U shape here. We're just going to go kind of up across here, work our way through these cities, and then kind of cut in at the end here. Then we'll kind of go over here if there's anything else that we want to take. But I think this upside down U shape is kind of the strategy we're going to start kind of implementing here.
Defense is
I'm only going to declare war against everybody once we've upgraded to caravels. We're close to that point, but we're not there yet.
Not all who wander.
Yeah, there it is. Cartography. We're going to back off over here. Sight range, not a bad one. Okay. So, first things first, it's 360 gold per. So we have 8, if I remember my count is correctly. Take you back to the city. You'll go here. That's going to save us about a turn and a half of tempo, so that's good. Barely survived.
This lighthouse.
There's the Great Lighthouse. Good. That movement right there, extra movement guaranteed, that's a big thing for us, so we need that. Let's go into this right away. So first things first. Boom. That's a massive hit of damage. And then next thing we're going to do is just continue working on kind of just plonking away at this stuff if we can. Now, this damage output's actually pretty good, so we can take the walls down fairly quickly. I want to do that so that way we're in a good spot. The good thing is our naval melee units can just heal in neutral cities, or neutral tiles rather. So we don't really need to worry too much. Like here, we could just do hefty damage here. And because we have this, this will help us pretty soon. So this is good. Let's try to damage this, because if we can take that city, it's actually going to reduce the loyalty pressure we have just by a little bit. It's not by much, but it's enough that could potentially help kind of reduce the timeline for this. I'm going to go ahead and also put this one on. That Praetorian one's definitely going to help us, because we can keep this loyal. We don't need to worry about this kind of going disloyal, and we can use that to develop our loyalty pressure position a little bit more easily. This city's landlocked, so it's fine for us. We don't really have a much like utility or use for it right now, so it's not a problem. Let's go ahead and heal up for the time being. Bring these units over. This is some definitely solid progress this episode. I'd like to ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed watching this, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Speed the Man out.